Hey everybody, I'm Charlesy. Welcome back to my kitchen. And if it's your first time here, you're in for a treat. And thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you something that was at every holiday gathering and every big family meal. It's called Annie rolls. And Annie rolls are these little puffs of yeasty magic, little rolls that my mother made for every occasion. And I was asking her about this recipe, where did she get it? And she said my older sister, Mary, had gone off to camp. And she, when they went to pick her up, Mama and Daddy went to pick her up from camp, she was just raving about these rolls and she wanted to take some home. So Mom found the cook, and her name was Annie, and she actually shared this recipe with her. So now I'm going to show it to you. So let's get started. So you're going to start with a cup of butter, and this is, I've had it out, probably room temperature butter, but you really don't have to, and you're going to see why. And then 7/8 of a cup of granulated sugar. We'll do a teaspoon and a half of salt to kind of counteract that sugar. And then I'm going to pour over 1 cup of boiling hot water. Let me just lift that a little bit. And then I'm going to start, actually I'm going to get my shield because this tends to splash, so hang on just a second. So I'm going to put this shield in place so that my cameraman doesn't get burned. Back up. It can be a mess. So I'm going to blend this and let it kind of melt down. And then we'll start adding other ingredients to it. And hopefully, if you have a mixer, you have the shield because you do need it for this recipe, or stand back. I'm mixing it together. Meanwhile, let me show you something that I did in prep. So you're going to need some yeast. You can buy it in packets, and if you buy it in packets, you'll need 2 of them for this recipe. I like to buy it in this jar because I use it a lot. So to activate the yeast, you put it in a warm cup of water. Not hot, just warm, and let it activate. And something that I do is I put a few sprinkles of sugar in there because the yeast loves it. And you can see that my yeast is activated and ready to go into the batter. So this is looking pretty good. So next, we're going to add in, I've got 2 eggs that I've scrambled. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. And you don't want to do that until things have cooled off a bit, because you'll have scrambled eggs if you're not careful. And now I'm going to pour in the yeast. And then we'll slowly start adding. I have 7 cups of all-purpose flour. So let me grab a spoon. I did sift this in advance. And we'll just slowly start adding it. And in Mom's old recipe, she used to use part Crisco, part butter. And when I started making it, I called her one day and I said, hey, do you think I could do Annie rolls with just butter? And she goes, sure, why not? And so I tried it and they came out wonderful. And so she started doing the same thing. So once we get all of this flour incorporated, I'm going to scrape down the sides and just make sure that it blends really well. Okay. So I just want to show you, we've almost got all the flour in the batter. It's going to be kind of sticky. That's exactly how it should look. And now we're going to add in the last bit of flour. And I just want to show you, it's okay to be messy in the kitchen, because this one definitely can send flour all over the counter, as you can see. So I'm going to turn this up a little bit. And I'm actually using the paddle on my mixer. You can use the bread attachment too if you want. It's really totally up to you. So you're done with this step. And what I'm going to do, scrape down the sides and just you see it. Let's make sure the flour's all mixed in. But I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't have to be perfect, because you're actually going to roll this out in flour in about 4 hours. So this mixture, I'll just take a really lightweight dishcloth, place it over it. You don't want it to be super tight, because this is going to rise because of the yeast. So it'll probably double in size. So I'll check on it in about 4 hours and show you what it looks like. And then we'll roll them out. And then they have to rise in a warm area. So I usually put them on top of the stove, covered again with a dishcloth like this, on a cookie sheet, and let them rise for a couple of hours, and then we'll bake them. Our Annie roll dough has been chilling for about 4.5 hours in the fridge, and wow, did it rise. This is what you're looking for. I certainly recommend you either wear white or put on an apron, because this next part can get a little bit messy. We're actually going to take the dough out onto a floured board. All right, I'm going to take all the dough out just so you can see what it looks like. But I'm actually only going to prepare about half of it. So I'll just kind of cut that in half. Actually a little bit less. And the great thing is this dough, you can seal it up and put it in your fridge and just make the rolls that you need on a daily basis. So take all your jewelry off, all your rings for sure, because you're going to need this. And this was probably the funnest part of Annie rolls, besides eating them, was getting to work the dough when I was little. So you can definitely take out all your anger, anything that's going on, let it out on the Annie rolls. And you don't have to overwork it, but just a few turns, and I kind of like to just squeeze it. And then it's getting to the point now where I can form the rolls, and it's not anything scientific at all. Definitely need flour. And you just pull off like a handful. They will rise a lot, so you don't want it to be too big. But you're just going to roll it. Kind of flatten it out. Bend it over. And then we're going to put it on a cookie sheet. And so I will roll out all of these. And they're kind of like fingerprints. Every one is different. Every roll is different. You just kind of stay about the same size so that they'll cook properly. You don't have to have parchment paper down on here on your cookie sheet, but it just makes cleanup a lot easier. And again, I'll probably get at least a dozen rolls out of this batch. And I'll put these in a warm place. I normally just put them on top of my stove. If it's not on, I'll cover them with this same sort of cloth and let them rise for about 2 hours. They will double in size, and then I'll bake them at 350 for 8 to 10 minutes. So that's basically Annie rolls. I'll let you in on a big old secret of my mom's. And I hope that you guys will make these for the holidays. I will show you the finished product shortly. So we've got the Annie rolls all rolled out and ready to rise. I'm just going to cover them and place them on my stove top and let them rise for about 2 hours. So here is the big reveal. The Annie rolls have been rising for 2 hours, and now they are ready to go into my oven. I've preheated it to 350, and I'll put them in for 8 to 10 minutes. You just want them browned on the top and of course the bottom cooked. I'll show you what they look like in just a minute. Look at these beauties. They've been in the oven. I ended up going a little bit longer, about 15 minutes in my oven. You just need to keep an eye on them. You want that nice browning on the top, and then if we flip them over, they'll be nice and brown on the bottom. The way to serve these, plain, is just fine. You can also add butter and some jam if you want. My daddy used to slip a slice of turkey or ham inside of them. They're just one of the best things you'll ever eat in your life. So thanks for watching, and I really appreciate everybody that's subscribing and sharing the channel. It is so much fun to cook with all of you. I love sharing these recipes of moms and things that I've uncovered and discovered myself. And I guess as a final note, I just want to dedicate this video to my sister. She passed away earlier in the year, and this was her favorite thing at Thanksgiving and Christmas time. She loved Mom's Annie rolls. So Mary, we'll miss you this year.